John Lennon wasn't just a musical genius, he was also a fan. From the raw energy of early rock and roll to the soulful harmonies that shaped his songwriting, Lennon's inspirations were as iconic as his music. Let's dive into the 5 bands that inspired the legendary Beatle and helped define his sound. Number 1. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. At the top of John Lennon's list is Elvis Presley. The king of rock and roll wasn't just a performer, he was a revolution. When young Lennon first heard Heartbreak Hotel, his world changed forever. Elvis's charisma, rebellious attitude, and raw energy inspired Lennon to pick up a guitar and dream of stardom. The early Beatles even modeled their image after Elvis, adopting his slick-back hair and leather jackets. For Lennon, Elvis wasn't just an artist, he was a catalyst for everything the Beatles would become. Number 2. Chuck Berry, the poet of rock and roll. Chuck Berry wasn't just a musician to Lennon, he was a storyteller. Songs like Johnny B. Good and Roll Over Beethoven captured the spirit of rock and roll in a way that felt both universal and deeply personal. Berry's infectious riffs and clever lyrics inspired Lennon's own songwriting style. He often credited Berry as a master of rhythm and storytelling, blending fun and rebellion into every track. When the Beatles covered rock and roll music, it was Lennon's way of paying tribute to one of his greatest idols. Number 3. The Everly Brothers, harmonies that shaped a generation. The Everly Brothers left a deep mark on Lennon with their seamless vocal harmonies and heartfelt songs. Tracks like Bye Bye Love and All I Have to Do Is Dream showed Lennon how to blend melody and emotion into something timeless. Their influence is all over early Beatles records, where Lennon and McCartney's vocal harmonies echo the style of the Everlys. Lennon once said, "When we started writing songs, we were trying to write something as good as theirs." Their music became the blueprint for Lennon's collaboration with McCartney. Number 4. Buddy Holly, the everyman icon. For Lennon, Buddy Holly was proof that you didn't need to be larger than life to make unforgettable music. Holly's songs like Peggy Sue and That'll Be the Day were simple yet brilliant, showcasing his ability to connect with listeners through pure emotion. The Beatles even chose their name as a nod to Holly's band, the Crickets. Lennon admired Holly's ability to fuse rock with heartfelt lyrics, and his influence can be heard in the early Beatles sound. Holly's untimely death only deepened Lennon's reverence for the rock pioneer. Number 5. Bob Dylan, the voice of a generation. When Lennon first heard Bob Dylan, it was a revelation. Dylan's introspective lyrics and poetic storytelling pushed Lennon to write more personal and reflective songs. Tracks like Help and Norwegian Wood show the direct influence Dylan had on Lennon's evolution as a songwriter. Dylan's raw honesty and ability to strip music down to its emotional core inspired Lennon to explore deeper themes in his own work. Lennon didn't just admire Dylan, he saw him as a kindred spirit in pushing the boundaries of music. John Lennon's 5 favorite bands weren't just inspirations, they were building blocks for one of the most revolutionary careers in music history. From Elvis's swagger to Dylan's poetic depth, these artists helped shape Lennon's sound and the legacy of the Beatles. Lennon's ability to blend their influences into something uniquely his own is what made him a legend. Through his music, we can hear the echoes of those who inspired him, and the voice of a man who inspired the world.